Hi friends, today I'm discussing CSS tutorials. Today onwards I'm starting CSS tutorials also. I do share my screen. Today I'm starting CSS tutorials also. Before today I'm starting CSS tutorials. So before beginning the class, I'm asking one question. What is CSS? Even I covered today's class. What is CSS? Why we need a CSS? History. If anybody knows, please ping me a message or comment in the box. It simply says that CSS stands for cascading style sheet. It designs web applications, layouts, apps, etc. Note: without adding CSS, it won't vender designing way. Without writing CSS code, it won't enable the proper designing way. The CSS is the language we use to style an HTML document. CSS describes how the HTML element should be displayed. It simply say that CSS designing document. CSS is like designing HTML document. Why is the need of HTML, or why need of CSS? It simply say that it is the language used to style and lay out web pages, separating the content HTML from the visual design. Without CSS, web pages would be plain, unformatted text on a white background. It simply say that without implementing HTML code, it would be plain documentation. For example, so only I create a application or form writing for only assigning HTML code like username like this. Password, login back. I create a login form for HTML. As of now, I'm adding CSS. Now, in this HTML web page or else login form, login form. So before I assigned CSS look like this. Now, so this is HTML. Through the HTML code I create the login form look like this before I assign CSS. Now I'm assigning CSS code in this page, then it automatically enable like or else look like this. So I add CSS code in this way login page, it automatically change theme. Look like this. So actually what I'm saying, without assigning CSS code, it enabled black way, just like before HTML. After I assign CSS code, it enable designing, like some colors added, some background added. So that is the need of CSS in front-end web development. It simply say that why we are learning, why we are learning CSS in AI mode. So look at this. CSS is essential because it is the primary language used to control the visual presentation of website. Visual presentation means rendering, like look like a nice way. While HTML provides the structure, like a skeleton of building. CSS provides the design. HTML create the website for skeleton, like human skeleton. After adding CSS, create a person, like um, died person, living person, for example. So look like this. So key reasons for learning CSS includes visual controls or designs, responsive designs and concerns, enhance user experience, performance and speed, career advantage, accessibility, everything. So that is the need of that's what we need to assign CS in front-end web development. Currently, the history of CSS simply say that CSS was first proposed in 1994 by Hakon Wilmot Slice to address the need for a web styling language separate from HTML content. Co-authored with Bert Bose, the first official specification CSS level 1. CSS level 1 in 1996. CSS level 2 CSS2. The version expanded capabilities with more selectors, postings, absolute relatives, fixed jet index, or support for medias. Medias are support medias are styling sheets. Level 1 in 1998. CSS CSS3 in 2011, where we are implementing this version, corrected errors in CSS2 and become a widely supported standard after addressing inconsistencies found in early browser implementation. Till now, CSS3, till now, till now. That is the history of CSS. It's simply CSS cascading style sheet is a Language is used to describe the presentation of a document written in HTML or XML, including various XML languages like SVGs and XHTMLs are. Even elements should render on screens, papers, in speech, or on other medias. Include the vital role of web development also. Tomorrow class, I started. That's all about today's class. Tomorrow class, I started CSS tutorials. So, for example, I would like to show Flipkart website. Look at this. Flipkart. This is the website of Flipkart. It's developed in front-end development. So I opened what is the how CSS perform in this web page. Inspect. Look in here. Box sizing. This is the CSS code. Look at this box size, colors, RGBs, cursors, pointers, font families, font size. Font size means alphabet size, height, letter stretchings, or list style image, or list style positions, list style types, margins, bords, lefts, rights. Margin means look like these things. Padding, bottom pattern means gap between the things look like electronics fashions the gap and test directions. So these things are CSS codes in this Flipkart website. That is the need of nowadays. We use CSS through the developing web development without writing CSS code. It plain like blood. Already I show what is the need of HTML CSS in a front-end development. So this is the login form of CSS plus HTML. Plus CSS. I create own HTML. Username, password, login, back. Only CSS, only HTML. Only HTML page like this, include HTML CSS page like this. That is the need of CSS in web development. Today's class, that's all about a covered simple way to learn. So today I'm starting CSS tutorials. What is CSS? CSS stands for cascading style sheet. It designing it designs the web applications, layouts, apps, etc. Node without the add CSS code. It won't vendor designing way. CSS is like a designing HTML document. Why we need to use CSS? It simply say that the without implementing HTML, it would be plain document. So histories. Now we are using CSS 3 till now. So this is the third version. Tomorrow I started what is the exact CSS data. This is the fundamentals of CSS, just like introduction of CSS class.